agonizingly slow. He looks up at me, and I'm like, these next words are gonna change my life. They're gonna be the wisest words I've ever heard. It's gonna be the realization that I am a booking genius. And that I have a job for life with the WWE. And Vince looks at me, finishes the bite, looks down at the steak, and says,
Chris Jericho tells this hilarious story about an idea that he pitched to Vince McMahon regarding his Bray Wyatt feud. Let's see what happens.
When you want to go talk to him or pitch ideas, it's all based around what's going on at that moment in time. And I've come up with some of the best angles in my career. And maybe some of even in the best in WWE history. If you talk about Jericho versus Shawn Michaels, 2008, 2009. And there's actually the very underrated Rey Mysterio angle for his mask in 2009, which if you go back and watch that is some serious great. I love that. And then of course even this year with Jericho and Kevin Owens, the best friends thing. So you can boo it, but I thought of it, so it's okay. It's all right, guys. It's all story. So I came up with these ideas and would have a lot of input in what I was doing. So I was working with Bray Wyatt in 2014, and we had this like 2 or 3 match series. That I think it culminated at SummerSlam, then we had a cage match after, and there was really no story for the whole thing. If you guys remember, it's very forgettable because there was no story for it. Like, to me, I always like the story, the things where people can feel it. Like when I punched Sean's wife in the face, and she zigged when she should have zagged. I zagged when I should have zigged. I really did hit her, and it was terrible, but she was okay. And in retrospect, it was the best thing for the angle because people believed it. It was real. Same thing with Mysterio and his mask. People believed that because it was real. We did the thing with Punk and the alcoholism and all that sort of thing. That got a lot of heat too because of people that really did have alcoholic parents. But once again, we're all playing characters in a part, so that got reaction as well. So I wanted something that people could really get into with Jericho and Bray Wyatt, knowing that we were culminating our feud at SummerSlam. Well, Vince was not feeling it. He's like, "Oh, just do it." Here's what Vince will say: "Well, Jericho versus Bray Wyatt, that's angle enough. I mean, how much bigger can it get than that?" It can get a lot bigger, trust me. So I came up with this idea, and I thought a lot about it, and I had it all in my head, and it was this big idea that I had that would lead.
With that logic, then why do anything with Jericho and Shawn Michaels? Because what's bigger than that? Yeah, no, they should have been definitely more of a story between Jericho and Bray Wyatt. Maybe people will remember. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, he's right. I forgot about that whole angle. But maybe if there would have been a bigger story there, then maybe more people would care about it and remember it to this day. What do you guys think? Sound off in the comment section below. Let's continue.
Match at SummerSlam. So I'm going to go pitch it to Vince, but once again, it's all about timing with Vince. Once again, it's all about timing. I thought a lot about it, and I had it all in my head, and it was this big idea that I had that would lead to this match at SummerSlam. So I'm going to go pitch it to Vince, but once again, it's all about timing with Vince. So I'm going to go talk to him. I think we're in like Columbus, Ohio or something. So how it works at Raw is they show up at 11. They do a meeting, kind of talk about the show. Then they have a second meeting with just the writers and producers. And they take like 3-4 hours off and then get back together again. If you want to talk to Vince, it's in that time frame. But in that time frame, he also eats his lunch. And the one thing you don't want to do is interrupt Vince McMahon when he's eating his lunch, because he is not interested and he's not having it. And the guy is like, in 3 times better shape than me and like 72 years old, and he eats at certain times, and he eats, steak and broccoli, and it'll come in a saran wrap dish that'll say Vince 2 p.m. And that means when it was cooked. Okay? So that will be waiting in his office, and that's what he eats. So I know Vince's head security guard, because I'm Chris Jericho. His name is Jimmy, so I always go see Jimmy, is Vince in there? Yes, he's in there. Has he eaten? Yes. Perfect. So now I'm ready to go. I knock on the door. Another thing is, too, Vince is always best when it's one-on-one. Because I feel sometimes if there's somebody else there, he feels like maybe he needs a little bit more bravado. because he's, you can't do that, or why can't I? Well, because if I say yes, he's going to know that I back down. So the answer is no. So I always want to go see him after he's eaten and when he's by himself. So I knock on the door, I open the door, I walk inside, I see Vince, he does the same thing he does every time. Oh, come on. Oh, give me a break. Our little joke, like, oh, he doesn't want to see me. Oh, Jericho's here. Oh, blah. No problem, funny. And then I look over and sitting right beside him is Triple H. And I'm like, oh, And that was my fault for not asking if Vince was alone. Had he eaten? Yes, but he wasn't alone. How could I have made such a rookie mistake knowing after 16 years of working for the WWE, that's not how you do it. You have to be smarter than that. But it's too late. The train had left the station. Now I'm in the office. So I said, Vince, I have this idea for SummerSlam. He's like, oh, sure. And do you mind if Paul stays and listens? And now it's like the loaded question. Do I go left or do I go right? If I go left and say, no, can he leave? Super insulting, right? And also, too, I think maybe Vince wanted him to stay. So he's insinuating that maybe Paul should stay. So I'm like, no, sure, Paul can stay. It's no problem. Meanwhile, it's a problem. Because now, and it's not Triple H, it's the fact it could be the janitor. The problem is it's a guy in there that changes the dynamic from a one-on-one, man-to-man conversation to more of a dog and pony show, right? You guys know what that's saying? Do you have that saying here, dog and pony show? All right. Commonwealth. Queen Elizabeth, like a And don't start booing her, please. Come on. There's such rebels in the crowd. Oh my God. It's the people that don't boo that are my friends here. I'm joking. I was like, whoa. Oh, Jericho was mad at us. You know what? You're 100% right. I am a wanker. So I've diffused that bomb. You can chant it if you want. 50,000 people in Australia did. They were chanting wanker at me, and I was like, oh yeah? You're calling me a wanker? I'm telling a story. Shut up. I just noticed all you guys up here. Wow. How's it going? I couldn't see because the lights are there. Hey, guys. Hey, guys. So I 15,000 people, 50,000. We're in a stadium show in Melbourne, and they're all chanting "wanker, wanker."
All right,
wanker.
no. I don't want to.
All right, you know what?
I want to find out what happens with this meeting. I want to see what happens with the meeting. I don't want to hear about this wanker business. I don't care.
So I'm in the room. Back to the story. And I'm about ready to tell this great idea that I have. I'm like, Vince, okay, I got this idea for SummerSlam. And you know how Wyatt has his family. And I have nobody to watch my back because I've been such an for the last 4 or 5 years here. I just turned babyface. I'm like, but there's one guy that I can talk to. There's one guy that I went to the depths of hell with, that even though I don't like him, I know I can trust him because he's just as crazy as I am. And that guy is, and Vince goes, can you hold on a second, Paul? Can you pass me the other steak? Because I'm feeling kind of hungry. And I was like, oh no. Hungry. It was like you see one of them monster trucks. Hungry, hungry, hungry. Vince McMahon is hungry. Hungry, hungry, hungry. And I'm like, oh no. So he grabs the steak and he takes it and now he's eating when I'm pitching this idea. And my idea was that I get beat up by the Wyatts, and I'm in the trainer's room, and the doctor's tending to me. I say, can you please leave right now? And I pick up the phone, and I say, yes, can I get the number for the HBK Ranch in Abilene, Texas? And then that's the end of it. And then the next week, I show up and I say, listen, last week I got beat up by the Wyatt family. I have nobody I can trust, but there's one guy who's just as crazy as I am that I've been to hell and back with. I'm talking about Shawn Michaels. I'm talking about HBK. I called him last week. I asked him to please come here tonight and please help me. If he looks into my eyes, he can see that this is real. He can see the pureness of my heart. He knows I need his help, and he has to help me. If he has any decency in his heart, he'll help me. I left him a first-class ticket. I don't even know if he's here. I don't know what to do. Dun, 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 dun. Meow. Is it a cat purring, or what is it? Sable? Oh, it's sable? It's a sable purring? It's what? Oh, it's sensational. Oh, yeah, she's going, ow. Okay, right, sir. So his music plays, and down to the ring comes HBK, Shawn Michaels. First time Jericho and Michaels have been in the ring since the ladder match in 2009, No Mercy, where I beat him for the title. He comes in the ring, and he would stand there with the cowboy hat on, and just that look on his face is only Sean can. He's one of the best actors in the history of the business. Just stand there staring a hole through me, thinking of all the pain that I put him through, punching his wife, bloodying him, beating him up, beating him for the title, all of this other stuff. Have him just staring at me while I put on my plea, like, please, Sean, I need your help. You really have to help me. These Wyatts are going to kill me, whatever it's going to be, blah, blah, blah. And then right as Sean, it's like, will you be my partner? Will you help me? Can you leave all this stuff behind us? Can you help me? And before he could even say anything, that's my Wyatt sound effect. Lights go off, lights come on, the Wyatt family's in the ring. And they start kicking the shit out of me, and Sean's just standing there watching as they beat the crap out of me. And then they come after him, and he super kicks one Harper. And he super kicks the other bald guy with the big beard. Rowan. It wasn't a cut down, it slipped my mind. He super kicks Harper, super kicks Rowan, goes to super kick Wyatt rolls to the floor and laughs. So we never know what Sean was going to say when it was just my problem. But now they've attacked him, and now it's his problem. Which then leads to the next week where there's another attack with the Wyatts, with us in the ring together. And of course, then Sean and I back up, hit each other's. He goes to super kick. I go like this. He stops. Then we shake hands. Now we're friends. And it becomes the Wyatt family, Bray Wyatt and his family in his corner versus Chris Jericho with Shawn Michaels in his corner at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest there. I was a little worried he was going to go the route of, oh, Sean comes back for this one match or something like that. But if it's just Sean in his corner as like an enforcer, like a Chuck Norris at Survivor Series, he's just there to enforce, have Chris Jericho's back, I think that would have been good. I think that would have worked. It would have definitely added... Excuse me. It definitely would have added to the importance of the match. It would have definitely made it memorable. I actually think this is a pretty solid idea from Jericho. What do you guys think? Do you guys think this would have worked? Do you guys think this would have been a hit? Sound off in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel if you enjoy content like this. Let's see what Vince McMahon has to say now that he's eating his second steak lunch. He's gonna eat. And that he has Triple H sitting next to him.
I mean, how good is that, right? I mean, I'm blown up just thinking about it right now. But I was like, wow, that is good. And dude, let me tell you, I was on fire for this pitch. I had it going on. I was to the point. Vince doesn't like it when you go, or ah, or maybe this could happen. I knew everything. Bam, 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 bam. Body blow, body blow, body blow, body blow. Punch the face, boom, boom, I win. Boom. So now I'm looking at Vince. He's eating a steak. He's not saying anything. I'm like, this is kind of weird. He's not saying anything. So, it's like Wyatt with Wyatt family in his corner versus Jericho with Shawn Michaels in his corner at SummerSlam. I said it again. He takes a bite of his food. He chews it, agonizingly slow. He looks up at me, and I'm like, these next words are going to change my life. They're going to be the wisest words I've ever heard. It's going to be the realization that I am a booking genius. And that I have a job for life with the WWE. And Vince looks at me, finishes the bite, looks down at the steak, and says, "Bad cow." I said, what? He says, "Bad cow." Yeah, I heard that. Bad cow. This steak is tough. This steak is no good. This is a bad cow. It's a bad piece of meat. And I was like, that's all you have to say about this angle? He goes, "What else you got?" And my boner just went, ew. I was like, what do you mean? What else do I got? This is a perfectly planned and pitched angle. He goes, damn it, Chris. When you come in here to talk to me, you have to have more than one idea. You know that. What's wrong with you? So now I'm in trouble for pitching this idea. And you know why? Because it was a bad cow. That's why. He was so mad that his meal was off that he was taking out on my great, brilliant idea. And then I start feeling bad for the cow. This cow's one job, one purpose in life is to make a tasty meal for somebody. And it that up too. And it up my angle. And the bad cow. I said, at least I want to try and get like a hashtag or something, like make it hashtag bad cowed. So when something goes wrong, like, oh, how was work today? Oh, I got bad cowed. You know, like, oh, did your car break down? Yeah, it bad cowed me, man. At least I could get something out of it. But yes, so that's the thing with Vince McMahon. You have to catch him at the right time and make sure that he's not eating bad cow.
And that was a pretty entertaining story. Chris Jericho, I didn't read his fourth book, but I read his three first books. The first three books I've read. And he has he'll have other stories in there about him and Vince always had this funny dynamic. Like he starts this off with the whole, Jericho bothered me, of course, and he's all upset that Jericho's bothering him. They've always had that dynamic. I'll never forget the story Chris Jericho tells in his book where when he first gets told, it's not by Vince, I want to say it's by Stone Cold. Stone Cold tells him. Stone Cold the Undertaker, but I want to say it's Stone Cold. Stone Cold tells him that he's going to win the title for the first time. This is when he wins the WCW and WWE, becoming the first unified champion. Beats Stone Cold and The Rock the same night. He gets told, oh, he's going to win the title, and Chris Jericho doesn't really believe it. He thinks this is a rib. Like, he can't believe he's going to win. And, like, he's walking down the hall or whatever, and Vince McMahon, like, he sees Vince McMahon or whatever, and Vince McMahon makes a comment to him, like, the business is in the crapper when you decide to give the belt to this guy. And walks off. And that was kind of Chris Jericho's like confirmation, like, okay, I guess I am getting the belt. And Vince McMahon's always making comments about the way he walks. Like he's always poking fun at Chris Jericho's walk. I want to say the scarf thing is from Chris Jericho wearing a scarf. Like they've always had this like funny dynamic, in terms of, listen, wrestlers come up with ideas all the time, and not all of them are bangers, not all of them are hits, not all of them are good, and that's why they get rejected. I think this one, would this have been a great storyline? No, I don't think this would have been great. I don't think it would have been a game changer. I don't even think it wouldn't have been as memorable as his feuds with CM Punk or Shawn Michaels. But it would have been cool. Like, it would have been special. It would have been nice for the SummerSlam thing, especially if it's just building up to SummerSlam and then that's it. That's the only thing they're doing. Yeah, it's a nice little thing. I think this would have been a good idea. Maybe he could have thought of something better, but I thought it was fine. I think if Vince McMahon would have just said yeah to it, it would have been no harm, no foul. How come Chris Jericho can't think of good ideas like this while he's in AEW, though? Why is the best that he could come up with is things like the learning tree and whatever else he had going on, which are pretty much all the same. All the stables he had are pretty much similar. How come he can't come up with banger ideas like this for AEW? But what do you guys think? Do you think this was a good idea? Did you find it funny? Let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe to my channel if you enjoy content like this. And if you do enjoy content like this, I got a whole bunch of goodies for you on the screen that you could click on and enjoy.